Crewe's location was chosen after Winsford, 7 miles to the north, had rejected an earlier proposal, as the local landowners in neighbouring Nantwich, 4 miles away. Crewe Station was the first station to have its own adjacent railway hotel, the Crewe Arms Hotel, which was built in 1838 and still in use to this day. It was the first to be completely rebuilt owing to the need to expansion. It is also the first to have been completely independent rail lines built around to ease traffic congestions. Crewe Station opened on the 4th of July 1837 on the Grand Junction Railway. The purpose was to link the 4 largest cities in England by joining the existing Liverpool and Manchester Railway with the projected London and Birmingham Railway. And the first long-distance railway in the world, it ran from Curzon Street Railway Station in Birmingham to Dalham in Warrington, Cheshire, but where it made an end-on junction with the Warrington and Newton Railway, a branch of the L&M. The station was built in the township of Crewe, which had formed part of the ancient parish of Almley. The township later became a civil parish in its own right, and later still was renamed Crewe Green to avoid confusion with the town of Crewe, which was adjacent to it. The station was at the point where the line crossed the turnpike road linking the Trent and Mersey with the Shropshire Union canals. Since the land was bought by the Earl of Crewe, whose mansion stood nearby and was located in the township of Crewe, the station was called Crewe. The railway station gave its name to the town of Crewe, which is actually situated in the ancient parish of Coppenhall. In 1936, the railway station was transferred to the civil parish of Crewe and then to the municipal borough of Crewe. As soon as the station opened, the Chester and Crewe Railway was formed to build a branch line to Chester, and this company was absorbed by the GJR shortly before it opened to traffic in 1840. A locomotive depot was built to serve the Chester line, and to provide banking engines to assist trains southwards from Crewe up the Madeley Incline, a modest gradient which was a challenge to the small engines of the day. By 1841, the Chester line had seen as a starting point for the new trunk line to the port of Holyhead, to provide the fastest route to Ireland, and the importance of Crewe as a junction station began to be established. This gave further endorsement when the Manchester and Birmingham Railway, a separate undertaking which had hoped to build a wholly independent line linking the two cities, shorter than the JGR, decided it would be uneconomical to compete with that line over the greater part of its length, and decided to divert its own line to meet the GJR at Crewe. Teething squabbles between the companies delayed the running of through services for a while, and the M&B had to build a temporary station of their own, part of which survives today as an isolated platform next to the North Junction, at the start of the line to Manchester. In 1842, the GJR decided to move its locomotive works from Edge Hill in Liverpool to Crewe, siting the works to the north of the junction between Warrington and Chester lines. To house the workforce and company management, the town of Crewe was built by the company to the north of the works. In 1846, the GGR merged with the London and Birmingham to form the London Northwestern Railway Company, until its demise in 1923 was the largest company in the world. The new company extended the lines to Holyhead, the Warrington line to Lancaster and Carlisle, the Manchester line to Leeds, and built the new Crewe and Shrewsbury Railway to Shrewsbury, to join the joint Great Western-owned Shrewsbury and Hereford Railway, which provided connections to South Wales. The North Staffordshire Railway built a line from Stoke-on-Trent, joining the LNWR from the south-east. Crewe was the centre of a wide-ranging railway network, and freight handling facilities grew to the south of the station. To cope with the increase of traffic, the station was rebuilt in 1867, according to W.H. Challoner. The buildings facing each other on the present platform 5 and 6 dating from this time, and built under the supervision of William Baker. The listing by English Heritage described them as mirrored design with bowed projections from the platform inspector's office, the grey beard keystones and vivid polychromy, one of the best pieces of mid-C19 platform architecture designed anywhere on the LNWR network, and as rare surviving examples of nationally of buildings of the major junction in stations in this period. At the same time, the works were developed to and enlarged, and the town was also enlarged under the leadership of John Ramsbottom. a Stockport man who became locomotive superintendent. Locomotive construction, hitherto divided with Wolverton on the London and Birmingham Railway, was concentrated at Crewe. Ramsbottom also built steelworks, the first in the world to make large-scale use of the Bessemer process, as only the LNWR required enough steel to keep the Bessemer plant continually occupied. He also introduced a mass production of techniques whereby as many parts as possible were identical between one engine and another. Ramsbottom retired in 1871 and was succeeded by the legendary Frank Webb, a colourful and controversial figure who is known as the uncrowned king of Crewe. By the 1890s, a survey revealed 1,000 trains passing within a 24-hour period. Half of these were freight trains, which did not need to call at the station, so the company decided to build a separate 4-track railway passing to the west of the station, joining the existing lines beyond the north and south junctions, burrowing beneath them and avoiding them completely. Plans for the independent lines were approved in 1895, and construction lasted from 1896 to 1901. Over 1,000 labourers were employed on what was known as the Big Dig at a cost of £500,000. This undertaking was also included a marshalling yard to the south of the station at Basswood Hall, a revolutionary transship shed which allowed fast transfer of freight and wagons to road vehicles under cover, and the station was enlarged between 1903 and 1907 by providing 8 through platforms, each a quarter-mile length long. The cost of the improvements was £1 million. In 1923, the LNWR became part of the London Midland Scottish Railway Group. Crewe remained the major centre of locomotive construction, and in 1938 to 1939, the signal boxes at North and South Junctions were completely reconstructed as massive concrete structures to withstand air raids, and remained in use until the re-signalling project of 1985. The North Junction signal box can now be visited as part of Crewe Heritage Centre. Although the railway station is virtually synonymous with the town of Crewe, it's not actually incorporated within the borders of the borough of Crewe until the late 1930s, as it lies at least 1 mile to the southeast of the actual town centre. With the exception of the 2 new signal boxes and associated greater improved colouring light signalling, track circuiting and electrically operated track points, train operation at Crewe changed a little over the 50 years. The trains did become longer and heavier and were hauled by larger engines, which required increased supplies of water to be taken on board before departure. But a number of passenger trains using Crewe station and the method of operation did not vary greatly despite the passage of 2 world wars. Trains continued to divide at Crewe, for the front portion for Manchester and the rear portion for Liverpool. The station pilot engine always had a pair of restaurant cars in the bay platform ready to attach for the morning service to London. Always there were extra coaches waiting to be attached to overcrowded trains, and in addition to passengers, there was a vast quantity of mail, parcels, and even live animals and birds of all descriptions transported in specially designed transit crates. When necessary, the station staff had to feed and water these special passengers, which travelled in copious luggage vans. In 1948, the LMS was nationalised by British Railways. The London Midland region nationalisation greatly facilitated the modernisation of British Railways, and after the full start developing the new improved steam engines, electrification came, along with diesel power and a fixed formation air brake trains. These changes had a significant effect on Crewe station, notably the variation in station use caused firstly by the electrification in stations of the West Coast Main Line between 1959 and 1974, and secondly by the general end of steam traction on British Railways. Following the completion of electrification in 1974, trains did not need to change locomotives at Crewe, except for the London to Chester and Holyhead service. Many local haul trains were replaced by electric or diesel multiple unit trains for a much faster turnaround time. Additionally, 2 local branches had closed, which resulted in fewer trains terminated at Crewe. However, compensating for the decline of local passenger traffic, the reduction of mail and parcels traffic, and the total elimination of livestock carriage came with the greater increase of the intercity passenger traffic and the need for faster, smoother and more efficient handling of passenger trains. In 1963, the architects of the London Midland region of British Railways provided a porte cochere at the passenger entrance of Nantwich Road. It was constructed of 8 laminate wood hyperbolic paraboloid shells, and this was replaced between 1983 and 1985 with a current steel structure. In 1985, a £14.3 million scheme saw the track layout modernised and simplified, eliminating many of the points and crossings, and allowing 80 miles an hour running through the station over the North Junction. At the same time, all but one of 6 1902 extension platforms were taken out of use. 4 Class 40 locomotives were relocated to this work in 1985 and we renumbered as 97405 to 97408 for general engineering duties. In 2007, Network Rail published a proposal to replace the existing Crewe station with a new station approximately 1 mile to the south. A Crewe town station had also been proposed nearer to the town centre on the Chester line, with the shuttle service to the new main station. In 2009, the station was identified as one of the 10 worst Category B interchange stations for a mystery shopper assessment for fabric and environment. The proposal to remove the station was abandoned in 2010, and instead the current building was renovated. Cheshire East Council implemented a regeneration master plan for Crewe, which included the station. In 2011, Chester East Council purchased the former Royal Mail Depot and Western House for £2.75 million. The council demolished 2 of the buildings and created a new station entrance, as well as a 244 space car park at a cost of £7 million. The construction work was undertaken by Balfour Beatty. The new entrance had step-free access and connects passengers to the station through an underground walkway. There was a ticket vending machine at the entrance, as well as unmanned ticket barriers. In August 2016, 2 of the station buildings of 1867 were added to the National Heritage List of England as Grade 2 listed buildings. The structure included in the listing comprised of 2 station buildings on separate platforms, 2 screen walls as well, 1 to the east and 1 to the west. So let's get started here at Crewe with 350-368. Terminated with a London Northwestern Railway service from Northampton. Over on the far side is 220010 and 221140. Working the 0745 cross-country service from Birmingham New Streets to Manchester Piccadilly via Stockport. Time to turn it up loud now as 7 Britannia class 7000 Britannia departs with the 0746 Sappos train service from Llandudno Junction to the Severn Valley Railway under the head code 1Zulu60. Arriving ECS from Barton under Needwood Depot under the head code 5 Delta 82 is 221117. Over on the far side, we have the departure of 350-251 and 350-119, with the 0751 London Northwestern Railway service in Liverpool Lime Street to Birmingham New Street. Next to depart from platform 11 is 221104 and 221108, with the 0757 Avanti West Coast service from Holyhead and Wrexham General to London Euston. Departing on the far side is 350-259, with the 0801 London Northwestern Railway service to Birmingham New Street via Stoke-on-Trent. And quickly following on his heels is 390-157, with the 0801 Avanti West Coast service from Lancaster to London Euston via Birmingham New Street. On the near side, we see the arrival of 390-129, with the slightly delayed 0809 Avanti West Coast service from Birmingham New Street to Blackpool North. And once he was out of the way, departing next is 175002, with the 0810 Transport for Wales service from Manchester Piccadilly to Carmarthen. Approaching on the far side is beloved 390-104, with the slightly delayed 0812 Avanti West Coast service from London Euston to Manchester Piccadilly via Stockport. And quickly on his heels is 350-241 and 350-246, with the slightly delayed 0800 London Northwestern Railway service of Birmingham New Street to Liverpool Lime Street. And going the opposite direction is 350-368, with the 0816 London Northwestern Railway service to London Euston via Rugby. Next into the station is 175-115, with the 0828 Transport for Wales service from Cardiff Central to Manchester Piccadilly. Departing on the far side is 390-131 City of Liverpool, with the 0823 Avanti West Coast service from Liverpool Lime Street to London Euston. Over on platform 1 is 390-008, with the 0829 Avanti West Coast service from Manchester Piccadilly to London Euston. Running 20 minutes late for Transport for Wales is 197-003. We're terminating with their ECS move from Shrewsbury under the head code 3K01. Next up, terminating with a London Northwestern Railway service off Birmingham New Street, is 350-117. Flying fast through the middle is 390-11016, working 1M06 from Glasgow Central to London Euston. Arriving in next is 390-136, working the 0843 Avanti West Coast service from London Euston to Liverpool Lime Street. And to complete this side, we see 730-002, terminating with a empty carriage working from Oxley Car MD. God knows under what head code though, but we got it. A quick change of ends, and first up we see 221-116, working 5 Alpha 13 from Holyhead Car MD to terminate at Crewe. Departing over on the far side is 323-239, with the 0848 Northern Rail service to Manchester Piccadilly via Stockport. Next up we see the arrival of 350-130 and 350-123, with the 0853 London Northwestern Railway service from Liverpool Lime Street to Birmingham New Street. Coming around the corner, terminating with a Northern Rail service from Manchester Piccadilly, is 323-233. Next in to arrive at the station is 221115 and 221101 with the 0901 Avanti West Coast service from Blackpool North to London Euston via Birmingham New Street.
From the 0901 London Northwestern Railway service to Birmingham via Stoke-on-Trent, Alsager, Heathrow, Stoke-on-Trent, Stone, Sandhurst, Lincoln, Wolverhampton and Birmingham New Street. This train is fueled on 4 trains.
Next out is 350-242 and 350-262 with the 0858 London Northwestern Railway service from Birmingham New Street to Liverpool Lime Street. Coming around the corner is 175104, working the 0909 Transport for Wales service from Manchester Piccadilly to Milford Haven.
Ludlow, Leinster, Hereford, Abergavenny, Cumbrae, Newport, Cardiff Central, Bridgend, Portsmouth Parkway, Neath, Swansea, Gowerton, Llanelli, Cumbria and Ferryport, Carmarthen, Whitland, London, Aberson Road, Avanti West, Kingston and Milford Haven. This train is called.
And the reason for that being on the wrong platform is for the departure of 390.013 with the 0909 Avanti West Coast service from London Euston to Edinburgh Waverley.
In the interest of customer safety, please stand clear of the platform edge behind the yellow line until the train comes to a complete stand and allow customers to alight before joining board. Thank you.
The next train to arrive at platform 5 will be the 0911 Avanti West Coast service to Manchester Piccadilly, Crewe, Wilmslow, Stockport and Manchester Piccadilly. This train is full of 11 coaches.
Coming around the corner, terminating with a Transport for Wales service from Chester, is 150-227. One in, one out now for the departure of 323-233 and the arrival of 390-119. Working the 0917 Northern Rail service to Liverpool Lime Street via Manchester Airport and Manchester Piccadilly, and the 0924 Avanti West Coast service to Liverpool Lime Street to London Euston, respectively. Next out to depart is 150-227 with the 0925 Transport for Wales service to Chester. Rounding the corner on the far side is 390-132 with the 0929 Avanti West Coast service from Manchester Piccadilly to London Euston.
Please have your ticket available for inspection. This is a security message. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it. Platform 1 from the 0929 Avanti West Coast service to London Euston. London Euston only. This train is formed of 11 coaches. The service is expected to be very busy today. Customers with flexible tickets may wish to travel on a different service for a more comfortable journey.
Whilst going in the opposite direction is 175003 with the 0931 Transport for Wales service from Cardiff Central to Manchester Piccadilly. And your final clip sees the passing of 390-0046 and 390-125, working 1007 from Glasgow Central to London Euston and 1 Foxtrot 12 from London Euston to London Lime Street, respectively. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed what you saw, click on the 2 videos here at the end screen. Helps out the channel. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you are new and got this far. And we'll see you all in the next video, folks, wherever that may take us. We'll see you then, folks.